And it is Ernie live from the cast party, opening night of The Bodyguard, the musical, right here in Houston at the Hobby Center. Walt is here with me. Hello, Walt.
Hey, I'm Walt.
Yes, you are, Walt. Walt's my bodyguard tonight, so that I've got my protection, but he's also your voice. So as we're doing our Facebook Live, feel free to write your questions, your comments. Walt will keep an eye on them.
Facebook.
On Facebook, and we'll share them with our guests. Would you like to meet a guest? I think that's a yes. You want to meet a guest?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to meet a guest.
Well, our first... Yes, we do have one. And our guest is the bodyguard himself, as they like to say, the title character, Judson Mills. Hello, Judson.
Ernie,
welcome.
How are you?
And
from one bodyguard to another,
Yay,
hello,
I'm
sir.
a bodyguard.
Walt, it's a pleasure.
But Walt has a second job, too.
Okay.
He gives the name tags.
Nice.
Walt,
Oh, yes.
he forgot
Thank
his
you.
one job.
I will keep that in my scrapbook.
There you
Name
go.
tag
Yeah.
for you.
So, we have been enjoying The Bodyguard on stage. First of all, have you seen the movie?
Several times.
Did you watch it and prep for the role?
Yes.
And how does that affect then what you're doing?
It was the worst thing I could have done. I'll keep it short. The difficult part about that is that on film, everything right here in your eyes is very translatable. It speaks very clearly. You can say nothing for a whole movie and be very engaging and tell a story
Yes,
emotionally.
Norma Desmond. You can.
Okay? Now, when you get on stage, it's not the same thing.
Right.
Beyond the fifth or sixth row, it's no longer, I can't stand still and just be in thought and communicate the same way. So all of the wonderful work, at least in my opinion, that Cosner did in the movie, as much as it lends itself to the character and is necessary for the most part, it's very difficult in translation. So I've had to develop some other ways of being, of physicalizing myself so that it reads.
Okay,
Yeah.
now one thing I have to remember to do that I always forget to do, they tell us we never explain what the plot is. And I just assume, well, it's The Bodyguard, you know. But you don't know.
There's a whole new generation of
Right.
people that have never seen the movie now.
I've actually never seen the movie.
All right.
So at intermission...
I love talking to people like you.
At intermission,
I've never seen it.
At intermission, I had no idea what was going to happen.
All right.
Most people tend to think they know where it's
Right,
going.
yeah, they do.
Is it the same as the film?
Pretty much.
All right, you don't have to say anymore.
Pretty much.
Give me a very brief summation of what's the story.
Okay, the story is there's a Whitney Houston type character called Rachel Marin. She's a huge pop star, and she has a stalker, is what happens. Somebody begins to stalk her, and her security team is worried and hires the best in the business to protect her because it's gotten kind of scary, Frank Farmer.
And they got the best in the business to play him.
Unbelievable coincidence, right? And then the two are alphas, so there's a bunch of headbutting, and then we move beyond the headbutting naturally into romance, and ultimately the day is saved, although lives are lost along the way. But they leave, and go their separate ways.
And the most amazing thing for me is we all know the big song from The Bodyguard, I Will Always Love You. I never knew that the song was sung by The Bodyguard until I saw the show.
How about that?
And you leave us at intermission with you having sung it.
We wondered if that was going to be a good idea or not. I can sometimes hear the whole crowd exhale at the end when she finally starts the song.
Like, oh,
they're like,
God,
"Okay,
she's
thank
gonna
you."
sing it.
Yeah, but it gets a great laugh when they realize that I'm singing "I Will Always Love You." And just in case you haven't seen me, I spent a lot of time preparing this music, so I hope you like it.
I loved it. It was great.
It's the only song that may not make the album, I'm afraid, but I give it my all every time.
Your karaoke version is like when Walt sings karaoke.
Okay.
It's true. Yeah, that's why I loved it so much.
A lot of emoting, a lot of feeling.
Yes, emoting. Emoting.
I've got a question.
Walt's got a question. Who's it from?
It's from Deborah Hope.
Whoa.
Deborah Hope wants to know, what was the audition process like?
Okay. Interesting story. The gentleman that wrote what's called the book, which is the translation from the screenplay to the stage, the musical, his name is Alex Dinelaris. He won the Oscar for Birdman as well, some other things. He wrote On Your Feet. He was my college roommate. He was my first theater buddy. We went to Barry University in Miami, Florida. Shout out to Barry if anybody's on that. And so we stayed in contact throughout our careers. I started doing TV early on, but we stayed up late in college in the theater drinking Coors Extra Gold, talking about winning Oscars and going to Broadway. So when they could not cast the role, they'd had Deborah on board for a while, and they couldn't find somebody.
Deborah Cox,
that's right.
Rachel's
plays
character.
Rachel. He called me and said, "Hey, would you want to travel?" And I thought about. I love the movie. I love Cosner. It's not a bad gig, being the bodyguard. So he came into town. We threw some stuff on an iPhone, sent it off, and almost right away they made me an offer.
So pretty close to offer only.
Kinda.
They kind of knew they wanted you. When they couldn't find anyone else.
If you can't find anybody else, I'll be in your
Judson.
movie.
And, something when what you were just saying reminded me to remind people, if you're looking at this gentleman, you're like, how do I know him? Soap operas are just something that really changed the way people see you.
There was the Chuck Norris thing.
Yeah, as the world
not a bad set of coattails as well.
Yeah.
But as the world turns, there's nothing like soap fans. I still have people who are, follow me on Instagram or whatever, Judson Mills on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, by the way. I'll follow you back. Who know me from...
you follow back? That means you're following me wasn't a big deal? I got all excited when you followed me.
Everybody's a big deal. Everybody's valuable.
Okay, I got a question.
Come on.
I've got an As the World Turns question for you. So in As the World Turns, you play a single character over a long period of time.
Yes.
But things change for that character over. In a show like this, you play the same character over a long period of time, but every night it's the same thing. Do you present it the same way? Do you feel changes in this character the way you would in a character that actually evolves, since every night you're re-inhabiting?
I think it's a natural part of the artistic process for that exact thing to happen. And I certainly find that is true. We have a stage manager who watches the show, and on the flip side of that, though, tries to continue to keep what you're doing as close as you can be to the text, of course, and to what the original director left, because that's sort of the, hey!
Oh, my!
Nice,
because you didn't have a good bodyguard to bring you here.
As I usually do.
This is Jasmin Richardson.
The bodyguard dropped the ball again.
Jasmin.
Miss Houston.
From Houston is playing the Rachel role here. For those of you who are looking for Deborah Cox, Rachel shares the role with her throughout the run. Right. Tonight, though, Deborah has got kidney stone or something, and she's not feeling well. Yeah. And so you got, you think, but really it's because you got to open the show here in your own hometown. Congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you.
This is Walt. He's got a name tag for you.
Walt, I have a name tag for you.
Walt does some bodyguarding as well.
All right, Walt. Good to know.
Always remember who you are.
Oh, good to yes. My name is Jasmin.
And might I add, she killed it tonight.
She did kill it.
And I'll go further, not only to shout her out and give credit where credit is due, but these understudies and swings, what people don't realize in theater is that there's oftentimes people go... Here?
There you go.
People go on literally in the middle of a show. Someone will hurt themselves or get sick.
We had it happen last week. Someone went on literally in the middle of the show.
She didn't know earlier today she was going on.
Didn't. But what a treat. I was
so you're from Houston.
Yes.
You find out today you're going to be in the role. Who was the first person you called?
My boyfriend. I said, oh my God, this is happening. What am I going to do? And he was like, you know what to do, girl. I was like, okay, I'm ready. And literally, that's what happened.
I want to remind everyone out there, we are taking your questions as they come in. Oh, and we've got one right now.
Oh, awesome.
Are soaps the best theater training ground? From Deborah Hope again. Thanks, Deborah.
Oh, Deborah.
Are soaps the best training ground?
I'm going to answer this, I guess.
Do you
do soaps? Have you ever done? So then, it wouldn't be for her.
It's a great training ground. I mean, to be honest with you, wherever you are, whether it's in front of the camera for soaps or in a film environment or on stage, if you stay present to the work and try to remain honest and use the craft you've been taught, if you have, any format is a learning experience. But soaps are really valuable in terms of learning to improv, because you don't have a lot of time to do things over.
And you're learning pages every day, right? For you?
Like a whole, 50 pages every day.
I know of a very well-known actress who you would all know if I said her name, but I will not give it away. But she was in a primetime soap and pretty much defined villainous on primetime soaps. And then she went into doing a soap opera, and it was a nightmare for her to do. The amount of work, the amount of being and knowing and getting, and then turning over and starting again. It really is harder work than I think anyone understands.
Yeah. There's an interesting, it's hard in one place that it's not in the other. Doing what we do on stage in front of as many people as we do, the way that we do every night, is incredible, but at the same time, learning those lines and having to develop, relationships on the fly with people who come and go, it's very demanding.
Now, we had mentioned that Jasmin came into the role tonight. Usually, or in other
typically, I'm playing Nikki.
You play the sister.
I'm playing the sister.
I want to know how hard it was when you sing the duet with the sister, because you're so used to singing the other part. Do you ever in your mind are
You're
like,
so smart to ask that question. There have been times, because typically on Saturdays I play Rachel in the morning and I'll come back and do Nikki at night, and there are times where I start to sing with Deborah and she's like, no, and I was like, no, the other part. Like, I have to check myself constantly, because I'll sit there waiting to say her line or say my, and it's just a mess, but I figured it out.
And people who are coming to the show and are listening to these classic songs, these Whitney Houston masterpieces, and they think, wow, she's so good. I want you all to remember, when Whitney Houston sang it, she's in a studio. They're doing take after take. They're getting it perfect to put on the soundtrack. You're doing it live every single time. And you got to hit it all over and over again.
You got to hit the notes. People are waiting to hear certain things. Our ears are kin to like, oh, Whitney did it that way. So you kind of have to, there's a roadmap. How
free do you feel, though, to have fun with it?
I
and
feel
how
very
much is
free.
The audience like, I want to hear it exactly the same way?
You're always aware of them and you want to give them what they want, but I sing the way I sing. There's only one Whitney Houston. There's only one Deborah Cox, so you just kind of have to do your own thing. And so I found that worked for me.
All right, hold on.
Another Deborah Hope question.
I think Deborah's watching.
Deborah Hope, she wants to know if you did any work in the Houston theater scene while you were here.
You know what? I was really young, and I wound up leaving Houston after I graduated from college. So I didn't. This is the first time I performed here.
Did you have to leave town, or did you choose to
No, I moved to New York.
Okay.
You go, I'm moving to New York, right after school. But, oh, my God, this was a dream come true tonight. You don't even know.
And I'm going to toss it for people who are saying, she looks familiar. She has something in common with me in this case, and that is I used Clinique growing up. And you were the face of Clinique.
I was. I did like a mini campaign online.
So did you actually use it? Or were you just the face of it?
Actually, it was my first bit of makeup that my mother bought me. Their whole cleansing system, and literally it was.
I walked into a Marshall Field or a Lord & Taylor when I was in college, and somebody caught me, and they're like, you've got to take care of your skin. And so for like 6 years, I used it, and then I was like, what am I doing?
First of all, your skin looks amazing, even though you're probably not using it right now, but... The Clinique is amazing.
I used it early. And somehow this has become a commercial for Clinique. Oh, we've got another question.
Send your checks to
Houston Public Media. We're in a pledge drive right now.
Literally.
Oh, I like yours better.
Yeah, I like that better too. All right, Dennis Cass wants to know how much resemblance does the play bear to the movie?
It's pretty close.
It's a thriller.
The storyline for the most part is the same. There's a few different things. There's more of a love triangle in this. That's a little different. And then in the movie, there's two kind of villainous characters that are both sort of in the fray in terms of the plot. They've combined it to one in this. Then there's the whole karaoke thing, which I don't think there was in the film. None of that. But I think other than that, it's pretty
So I've got to wonder, though, when you see the stalker, and he doesn't have his shirt on, is there ever a moment Rachel thinks,
I can do that. I'll be okay.
If you're going to attack me, there could be worse.
Everybody likes a dangerous guy, right?
I don't think that's what we're talking about now. Okay, something else that fascinates me about one of these two. One of them grew up in a cabin built by George Washington? Is this real?
Yeah, that's true.
How in the world do you end up in George Washington's cabin?
My mom and dad were hippies, and they came out of the Washington, D.C. area where they grew up and wanted to find a house, and this house happens to be on the courthouse records as having been built with the help of George Washington. He was on like the crew of surveyors, I think he was when he was young or something, in that area. So, allegedly... It was he helped in building the house, and it's just a little teeny old old house. All the doorways are like this tall. The windows are short because people, I guess, were shorter there. Yeah. But it's cool.
Well, that's kind of funny. When I read that, I was like, that's a cool deal.
I get more questions about that.
Deborah Hope has a comment.
It's Deborah Hope again.
Good old
You're
Deborah.
gorgeous.
I thank you.
I thought that was for me. You too, Jasmine.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you. In case that was for me, thank you.
In case. I know Deborah Hope. It was for you. You may know her before the run of the show's over, too. Anyway, the question is...
That was.
Oh, just he was gorgeous? Well, I can't think of anything better to end on than you're gorgeous. You're gorgeous.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations on opening the show right here in Houston.
Come see these dancers are amazing.
Oh, I have to tell you,
the
we've
band
been to
is
a lot of
amazing.
shows here in town. Show for show, this show has the best abs you're ever going to see.
Hands down.
Yeah, these dancers are fierce. Yeah, the whole cast just holds it down.
The
Very
Bodyguard
lucky.
here through the end of the week, and it's every hit song you want to hear. All of them are there. What you'd expect, a great night out at the theater or afternoon matinee. Jasmine, do you have any idea how many shows you're going to be doing during the run?
I will be doing 2 shows this weekend, so Saturday and Sunday night. So Saturday matinee and Sunday night I'll be on.
Okay, so we definitely, and you're going to be, as we know, in every one. 200 in a row without missing a show, we heard. Thank you all for watching.
Thank
Ernie
you.
Live on Facebook
Come
Live.
see us. Come on.
Come see the show.
Come get
Remember,
bodyguarded.
We're going to be back up October 12th with Secret Garden will be our next show. And until then, keep watching Houston Public Media. Keep joining us on the page. Ernie on TV at Instagram and Twitter. What else can I tell them? They're going to
Come
go to the
support
party.
the theater.
Bye-bye, everyone. So long. Thank you, guys.
Sorry to keep you guys waiting.
No.
Family.
entertained us.
He held it. He kept it going for a little bit.
someone else coming?
If they hadn't given me a rap, I would have kept you two all night. You're too funny.
Nice. Thank you so much.
She rescued you guys.
It's my job. It's my job. Thank
Go,
you.
enjoy your fans. A pleasure.
Yeah, thanks.
I will be in touch with both of you through social media.
so much for
Thank you.
having
You were
me.
fabulous. Wonderful job.
Thank you for